Philosophy is often described as the love of wisdom, but in truth, it is much more than that. It is a way of thinking, a way of asking questions about who we are, what we believe in, and how we should live. Every country, in one way or another, builds its foundation upon certain national principles. These principles guide not only laws and politics, but also how people think, learn, and dream. The national education philosophy, for example, is not just about teaching facts or skills. It is about shaping individuals who are intellectually balanced, morally grounded, and spiritually aware. Education becomes the bridge between the individual and the nation, a path where personal growth contributes to national progress. But philosophy reminds us that education alone is not enough. The philosophy of happiness asks us a deeper question. What is the purpose of knowledge? If it does not bring joy or meaning to life, true education should not only fill the mind, but also open the heart. When we combine national principles, education, and happiness, we see a powerful idea. A nation that values wisdom, justice, and compassion can nurture citizens who live purposefully and peacefully. So, to study philosophy is to learn not just how to think, but how to live well together in pursuit of a meaningful and happy life. We often think of philosophy as a universal subject, the same big questions for all people. But what if the search for wisdom isn't one size fits all? What if it has a local flavor? The truth is, philosophy is both a universal language and a local dialect. It's the shared human drive to ask why that meets the unique historical, cultural, and spiritual landscape of a place. Today, we'll see how this plays out in the Malaysian context. Philosophy, derived from the Greek word for love of wisdom, explores the most fundamental human questions. Who are we? Where does the world come from? What is the meaning of life? These questions transcend national borders, belonging to all humanity, reflecting the universal nature of philosophy. However, when philosophical thought takes root in different cultural soils, it manifests unique characteristics. Every nation, every ethnic group develops its own philosophical system based on its history, beliefs, and social needs. This is the local specificity of philosophy. Taking Malaysia as an example, we can see how philosophy takes root and flourishes in this multicultural land. The national education philosophy emphasizes holistic development of individual potential, nurturing intellectually, spiritually, emotionally, and physically balanced individuals. The Rukun National Principles advocates belief in God, loyalty to king and country, the supremacy of the Constitution, the rule of law, and courtesy and morality. These localized philosophical concepts did not emerge from nowhere. They are rooted in Malaysia's multicultural background, respond to nation-building needs, and reflect the shared aspirations of the Malaysian people for harmony, progress, and justice. More importantly, these philosophical concepts are shaping Malaysia's future through the education system, social norms, and national policies. They influence the thinking and behavior of every Malaysian, providing spiritual guidance for building a better society. From Malaysia's practice, we see philosophy is both a bridge connecting humanity and a tree rooted in local soil. It helps us understand universal human nature while allowing us to cherish unique cultural identities. True wisdom lies in finding balance between universal values and local practices. This is perhaps the most precious insight philosophy offers us. Following up on the core direction of education mentioned earlier, we further focus on the national educational philosophy, which is precisely the soul and foundation supporting this series of educational practices. The core of this philosophy revolves around holistic development. Why does it prioritize holistic development over mere knowledge imparting? The ultimate goal of education is to shape well-rounded individuals, aiming to equip learners with both the skills to survive and thrive and the empathy, sense of responsibility, and critical thinking, rather than turning them into problem-solving machines. At the same time, it adheres to the principle of diversity and inclusiveness, respecting differences, deeply rooted in local traditions, while opening up a global perspective. enabling learners to both take root in their homeland and embrace the world. At the practical level, this philosophy runs through the entire education chain. How to prevent abstract philosophy from being reduced to empty slogans. The key lies in full scene integration, from character enlightenment in basic education to innovation empowerment in higher education, from cooperative inquiry in the classroom to social practice outside the campus. It makes education a bond connecting individuals, families, society, and the country, ultimately achieving the goal of empowering individual growth and serving national development. Respecting differences, deeply rooted in local traditions, serves as the steering wheel of education. It guides us to cultivate not merely learners, but rather complete individuals who are warm-hearted, responsible, and capable of adapting to the times. This is precisely the most precious value of education. Many people think it's just a slogan, but it is actually the driving force behind national development. Rukyu Nagara consists of 5 principles, and each shapes the nation's development. First, faith in God. It emphasizes moral values and reduces corruption and injustice. Second, loyalty to the monarch and the nation. It creates a shared identity among different ethnic groups and promotes unity. Third, supremacy of the Constitution. All policies and actions must follow the Constitution, protecting citizens' rights. Fourth, rule of law. Everyone must follow the law, and this attracts investment and economic activity. Fifth, good conduct and morality. A harmonious society reduces conflicts and lowers cooperation costs. These principles help Malaysia build a stable, orderly, and inclusive society in a multi-ethnic and multi-religious environment. Stability creates trust. Trust attracts investment. Investment drives economic growth, but through shared values held by the people. Imagine your goal in life is not to climb the highest mountain to surpass everyone else, but to find a fertile, peaceful valley where you can settle and thrive, live in harmony with your family, and feel a deep sense of inner peace and gratitude. This is the vision painted by the philosophy of Sejahtera. In our fast-paced, high-stress modern world, we are often taught to be faster, higher, and stronger. We chase the next promotion, a bigger house, the latest smartphone, but in this process, it's easy to feel burned out, emotionally empty, and disconnected from the people around us. Sejahtera offers a fundamentally different perspective. It reminds us that true success and well-being are multi-dimensional and holistic. It asks us not how much do you have, but are you at peace? This peace comes from a stable mind, a warm family, a healthy body, and our sense of responsibility towards our community and the natural environment. For instance, a billionaire might be immensely wealthy, but if their family is broken, they are filled with anxiety and are isolated from society. They are not Sejahtera. Conversely, an ordinary teacher with a modest income, who loves their job, has a happy family, a fulfilled heart, and good relationships with their neighbors, embodies the state of Sejahtera. Therefore, Sejahtera is not just an ancient Eastern wisdom, it holds profound relevance for re-evaluating our modern way of life. It invites us to slow down, to reflect on what is truly important in life, and to strive for a more balanced, sustainable, and deeply fulfilling state of being.